Hi guys. So today we're going to talk about I'm going to give you a new acronym and it kind of starts to help distill a little bit of what Hitler's ideology is and why he blames the Jewish people for so much of Germany and the world's issues, even though it's kind of a false blame for it. But maybe this will help kind of today distill a little bit that down for you so you'll understand at least a little bit of where the Holocaust comes from, why Hitler and the Nazis see that as their only option, or as the most desired option, I guess you should say. And then you can see from there a little bit more about kind of what's going on outside of the economics of Germany pre-World War II. So you need to add these to your notes, and today we're talking about how the Holocaust was caused by hatred. And this should be day 4 in your notes, and you can title it The Hatred of the Holocaust. So the first thing we need to talk about is kind of H, for lack of a better term, and that's Hitler's belief in the master race. And if you've seen the other videos so far and you've been keeping up with your notes, you know that Hitler believed in this Aryan race, this mythical race of people that were blonde-haired, blue-eyed, superheroes, Supermen, basically, that kind of he saw them as this, bygone era of Germans that were so wonderful and so exceptional that they were rulers of the world, and that they had been destroyed mainly by kind of anybody who was deemed an other or less desirable. The Jewish people, people with disabilities, people of color, all were seen as to have destroyed the Aryan race. They would even do things like measure your facial features, because the Nazis believed that you could understand whether or not somebody was part of this perfect society, or this perfect, how close to Aryan they were by the width of their nose, or the bridge of their brow, or things like that. So they had all these special criteria for figuring out kind of who you were, and that was all kind of this idea of genetics, that the genetics had kind of distilled all this down for you so you could understand it, right? You also get anti-Semitism, and this is remember, the hatred or disdain for the Jewish faith. And Hitler in particular believed that the Jews had kind of caused much of the world's problems, and that they were this shadowy secret network that were behind the scenes destroying things for Germany and for the rest of the world. And he even knows when he comes to power, will begin to promote these ideas of anti-Semitism, and will encourage people to strike out against their neighbors, to attack them, to go after Jewish businesses, as we'll see when we get more into the discussion of the Holocaust. He also believes in a totalitarian and nationalist state. This idea that there is a strong leader, somebody who's in charge, who leads the masses heroically, like he will. And so this is kind of his big beliefs. Remember, it's almost to the point, especially for his nationalism, that it's a dangerous love of his country, something that's so extreme that he is willing to fight and die and challenge anyone who dares see differently than him. You get kind of this buildup of a military because of this, and these are, remember, some of his soldiers who were goose stepping, as they were called, to give them nice shiny bright uniforms and made them feel important, because he was giving them a responsibility. He was giving them something to do where before they had no jobs. You also have R for racist genocide, which has come to be known as the final solution, as Hitler called it. And that was how he was going to deal with as he said, the Jewish problem. And that's where we really talk about the Holocaust. And we'll do that next couple of videos. We'll start talking about that. But this is the systematic genocide, the systematic killing of millions of people solely based on a religion or physical features or something that was out of their control. And that means prison camps, that means death camps for the Jewish people, starvation camps where people are put to work and basically there to slowly die. You have E, which is an economic depression blamed on, again, German Jews. He uses Treaty of Versailles to his advantage and uses it as a reason for why Germany is suffering. But behind all of that, he's going to have a twinge of anti-Semitism. He's going to make people believe that it's the Jewish people who have caused all these problems, rather than Germany was really militaristic and they joined into a war with their ally Austria-Hungary, and this is kind of what's caused their problems, was World War I caused their problems for why they're suffering now. He's not going to believe that. He's going to remember, he's going to back the ideas of anti-Semitism and the Jewish people are the kind of the cause of the world's problems. And so Remember, you get that hyperinflation, you get even like the billion mark, and so you have this huge depression and huge suffering by people in Germany. He's going to use these to his advantage. You also have the defeat in World War I. Again, he is going to blame it on the Jewish people. And he's going to use that as a reason for why they should have limited rights and limited abilities and limited roles in government, if at all, mainly because he is concerned, or he has duped himself into believing that they are the reason why the government has not functioned the way it should, rather than kind of the historical problems that Germany has had with the democracy and with militarism and things like that. All of this, that hatred, it's all going to build, and it's all going to culminate in an event called the Holocaust. And next time, we're going to talk much more about that. But until then, you need to make sure you have all of this information in your notes. This is incredibly important, mainly because it helps to kind of understand and collect your thoughts around what are some of Adolf Hitler's excuses and reasons for the mass extermination of the people of the Jewish faith, what we come to know as the Holocaust. What brings about this genocide? It's this hatred. It's this vile hatred of a group of people who he will blame for everything, rather than taking kind of the personal blame or understanding that it's the actions of his country that have put them into the misery that they're in. So have this in your notes. This again should be the hatred of the Holocaust. I believe it's day 3 now, is what I said earlier. Have that in there, and I will see you tomorrow.